We're starting on a new project today, and today's project is brought to you by Timber King, unofficially. They didn't pay me anything to say this, but they did send me this hat for free, which is pretty cool. But we'll say that they sponsored it because I'm going to be using lumber from my own sawmill that I sawed out. It's a Timber King sawmill. My own lumber that I sawed out of my own trees, which again is super cool. What we're going to be starting on is a little barn for these goats, a little milking shed. Now, I had released a video a while back about the little quick shanty that we built out of pallets. You guys are actually sitting on top of that shanty right now, so you can get a good overview. But that doesn't really work for milking. I mean, that's just a little barn. It's just something for them to get in out of the rain, okay? Behind me here, we've got an area that I've very roughly, and I mean very roughly, leveled off. And we're going to put up a little 12 by 12 barn. Nothing fancy, you'll see as we go. Just a square pattern barn. Enough that we can have space to put, half a dozen or a dozen goats inside. Oh, one of the goats is jumping up here in front of me. Y'all just can't quite see her. She's standing up wanting to get attention. But yeah, just enough that we can be able to run a half a dozen or a dozen goats inside at a time, get them all milked. And so we've got a place that we can be in the dry, because lately we've been milking just out in the open, which is insane. Luckily the weather's been good. There's been a little bit of rain and we put the milking stand inside the Connex for a couple of days, but nothing about that's ideal. So we're gonna be working on this little barn. So what I'm gonna do first, like I said, I've got it roughly graded. I'm gonna get the tractor back in here. I'm gonna try to do one more pass because I had it slicked off the other night, and then I got back further and I tried doing a little bit more work, and then I got this all tracked up and chopped up with my tire. So I'm gonna come in here real quick. I'm gonna just make a couple of passes with the box blade just to try to at least smooth it. It's not gonna be perfectly level, I know that. I'm just gonna smooth it off, and we're gonna put down a couple of patio pavers, a few different places like piers, to get this thing up off the ground a little bit. I'm not using any treated lumber either. So yeah, there's old Hopalong behind me there. I'm not gonna be using any treated lumber, so we don't want it sitting right on the ground. We went back and forth with ideas about doing, little 6x6 treated skids. But ultimately, we just decided, let's just put it up on blocks. We'll use our own untreated lumber. Why not? So let me get the tractor back in here. Let me smooth it off a little bit, and then we're gonna lay it out 12 by 12 pattern, and hopefully today, at least get the floor frame nailed together. So again, let me do a little bit of work here, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, so there's that. Like I said, not perfect by any means. I don't expect it to be, but I can see already it's higher over here. Slopes a little bit towards me here, slopes a little bit over there. That's okay. Like I said, we're gonna level it all up on pavers. I'm not gonna put all the effort in the world into making this thing just perfect. Because like I said, we're gonna shore it up on pavers anyway. But that just gives it a little bit, so it's not so choppy and rutted up. So let me take the tractor over. Well, now I'm gonna measure off. So my intent here is I want the one corner of the barn to be right here, so that when I open this gate, see, this kind of worked out fun for us. When we open their gate, it opens up against the entrance of their little shack. So I've actually got them pinned up in there right now so they can't get out and get in my way. So I want to set the first corner of the barn right here, so that when we open this gate up the same way, we can actually block this whole alley off. Not that I know that we need that alley for anything, but I thought, well, why not? It's a good double use. Plus, that'll make sure that the barn is set over here enough out of the way that I can still get in with the tractor, because this is, this right here is quite the tight little gateway. It may not look like it, but with a 6.5 foot wide box plate or whatever, I've got just a couple inches on each side. And actually, I've made it through the gate twice now without hitting any post or any gate or anything. So that's pretty good, because I have to be able to swing it over and get right up beside that fence and then travel up right tight along the fence. So luckily the tractor's got a good turn radius. Holy jeez. Relatively green, rough cut, heavy as heck. 2x6s. Whew. All right, so that's a start. 4 of them. Holy crap, those things are heavy. We're gonna go 12 by 12. I found myself second guessing, kind of wanting to go 16 by 12, just because I know the 2x6s are at least 17 feet long, but I just hate the thought of having a bunch of 4-foot scrap. But we got so much stuff to build over the next few years, we'll use them. I promise you that. I say few years. Next, like, few months, if all goes well. So, then we'll get my trusty chainsaw, and oh, my new toy. I got a new toy y'all like. I got a nail gun. And we'll start getting it laid out here. At least get the 4 square corners put together, just so I can feel like I've accomplished something. Tell me how BA that looks. Kind of funny. We bought this cordless nailer because we said, well, it'll be a really big pain in the butt to drag a bunch of extension cords and your compressor and air hoses and all that stuff down there to the goat pen if we bought a pneumatic, which I agree with. And then I rolled out all my extension cords down here so that I could use my corded circular saw. I was going to use the chainsaw, but it's just kind of a pain in the butt, really. Like, it's sometimes fun to use the chainsaw for framing, but really a circular saw is better. So let's make some cuts here. Well, I guess we are going to use a chainsaw, because the blade on my circular saw is roasted from cutting metal with it like a dummy. I presume that's why it's so dull, because it is dull. All right. Well, I'd love to blame the kids, but it's not their fault. It seems I've run off with all my own markers. So now I'm going to be marking with a screw. Oh, paint can opener. Good thing it's rough cut. Okay, there goes nothing. To be fair, this is the first time I've ever shot this nail gun, ever. So, y'all be patient with me. This is not a DeWalt commercial. Well, I guess if you want it to be, it can be, I don't care. trying to get things a little set up here, where it's mostly square. I know the whole thing's gonna rack on me at first, but all right, let's see. We gotta put her in, I don't know what that does. There's some sort of speed selector switch somewhere. I think that's it. Single shot. All right, let's see what this does. That's it. All right, so we'll just see about squaring it up real quick. It actually measures like exactly 12 feet side to side. So I cut the enters at 11 foot 8 1/4 because it's not quite true 2-inch thick. I cut it at like 1 3/4-ish, 1 7/8-ish, somewhere in there. But it measures exactly 144 side to side. So to measure the square, we're just gonna go corner to corner with it. And the whole thing's gonna have to shift a little bit before it's finally in place. 203 3/4. I guess I am an engineer. I could have just figured up the diagonal on a 12 by 12 triangle, and then I would have known what I was looking for. Instead of going back and forth. Yep, we got her now. 204-ish, where it needs to be. Look at here. The lumberyard would throw it away. I'm gonna turn it upside down. It'll do just fine as a center span sort of board. It's got one sharp edge on it, that's all. All right, roughly laid out. It's looking pretty good. We'll get it measured out here on 16-inch centers and get them popped in there. That's good practice right there. She's struggling on that one because it's a little bit thinner and flimsier, wobbly, but she walked all the way down one of the exterior ones without falling off, so that's pretty good. Anyway, so we got the main of the stringers, the floor joist, if you will. Oh, Kenzie, don't, you're gonna fall in that mud puddle. Pick a different one, go to a different one. So now I'm gonna go through and start putting in cross bracing the other way to tighten things up.